Okay, so there's this invisible engine that's powering pretty much everything you do online. I mean, everything. It works totally silently in the background, connecting all your favorite apps and services. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out what it is, and why this thing called an API is maybe the most important technology you've never thought about.
Just think about your phone for a second. How does your ride-sharing app know how to charge your credit card? Or how does a travel site instantly pull up the weather forecast for another country? All these different apps, they're constantly talking to each other. But how? How does that actually work?
Well, think about this. Every time you tap your phone to pay for a coffee,
Or you're on a travel site checking the weather for your trip.
or, when you sign into a brand new app using your Google account. In all of these moments, what's really happening is that separate, completely different applications are seamlessly and securely sharing information.
Yep. In every single one of those examples, you're using an API. You've probably been using them every single day for years without even realizing it. They really are that invisible engine that makes our whole digital world spin.
Okay, so what is this invisible connection? Let's break it down and get a really clear definition.
So, at its core, an API, which stands for Application Programming Interface, is basically a contract. It's just a set of rules that lets different software applications talk to each other. You can think of it like a trusted messenger, zipping back and forth, delivering requests and responses to make everything just work together.
All right, that definition is helpful, but honestly, the easiest way to really get what an API is all about is with a super simple analogy. Let's just imagine you're in a restaurant, and the API is your waiter.
So here's how it works. You, the customer, look at the menu and you make a request. You place your order. The waiter, that's our API, takes your request back to the kitchen. Now, the kitchen is the system that has all the stuff you actually want. The kitchen prepares your meal, and then the waiter brings it right back to your table. That's the response. The really important part here is that you never talk to the kitchen directly. You don't need to know how they cook. The API, the waiter, is the perfect middleman, handling all that communication for you.
Now, not all APIs are created equal. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. They generally fall into three main buckets. First, you've got public APIs. These are open for pretty much any developer to use. Think about the ones that power weather apps. Then, there are private APIs. These are used only inside a single company, just to get their own internal software to talk to each other. And finally, you have partner APIs. These are shared just between specific companies, like when an online store shares data with, say, a shipping provider to get your packages delivered.
Okay, so we know what they are, but why do they matter so much in the real world? Well, it's because APIs are, literally, the backbone of modern business. This isn't just some abstract technical concept. We're talking about powerful engines for growth.
Let's take a real-world example. Stripe, the huge payment processing company. Any small business right now can use Stripe's API to instantly start accepting credit cards, digital wallets, you name it. They can even set up recurring subscriptions. Behind the scenes, the API is handling all the super complex and secure communication with the banks. It can even automatically sync all that transaction data with your accounting software, which cuts down on a ton of manual work. Or how about Shopify? The reason it's such a massive e-commerce platform is because of its APIs. They allow any online store to connect to thousands of third-party apps for everything from shipping and marketing to customer support. And one really crucial job they do is keeping inventory updated in real time. So when you sell an item on your website, the API tells your warehouse, your accounting, everything, which prevents those super frustrating situations where you sell something you don't actually have in stock.
So, how does this communication actually work under the hood? Well, it's kind of like people. For two different systems to talk to each other, they need to agree on a shared language and a really clear set of commands.
And while there are a few different styles out there, the one that basically runs the modern web is called REST. The reason it's so popular is because it's built on the exact same simple, flexible ideas as the internet itself. You could say it basically speaks the web's native language. And the commands that REST uses, they are beautifully simple. They're just basic verbs, basic actions. You've got get, which is to read data, post, to create something new, put, to update something that's already there, and delete, well, to remove it. It's a really elegant and straightforward way to manage information all across the web.
But of course, you can't just have all this sensitive data flying around without some serious security. Modern APIs don't just hand out information to anyone who asks. They use sophisticated methods like token-based authentication. Think of it like this. An app has to show a unique, temporary digital key, a token, to prove it has permission to make a request.
This whole system makes sure that all these connections are totally controlled and secure. Okay, let's zoom out for the big picture. We've covered the what and the how. But the biggest question of all is why? Why has this one piece of technology completely reshaped our world?
Well, for one thing, it's about scale.
And that incredible scale is possible because APIs are really the fundamental building blocks of the entire digital economy. Honestly, the best way to think of them is like Lego bricks, but for software.
And this is the real magic. A developer today doesn't need to build their own mapping service from scratch, or their own payment system, or their own way to log users in. Nope, they can just plug into an existing service like Google Maps or Stripe using its API. This lets companies focus on what makes them special, what their unique value is, and it means they can innovate so much faster. It's like they're standing on the shoulders of giants.
And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question for the future. We've seen how APIs connected all of our apps and businesses together, but now, as they start to connect everything in the physical world, our cars, our homes, our cities, what incredible new possibilities will they unlock next? The truth is, this invisible engine is really just getting warmed up.